Hey everybody, it's Jessica. It's been a while since I've done a video, but thought that where the energy's just been really off the charts, I'll put it that way. I'm noticing in people's personal lives that they've got lots of things going on. The world just seems to be very chaotic. It seems to just continue to become chaotic and more chaotic. So when I talk to clients, even in my own life, it kind of leaves a sense of anxiety of like, when's this going to end? And time here on planet Earth is very different from the time frame in the other dimensions, which tends to give us peace about things getting better. But it's taken the time it's taking. So there's a lot going on the planet. Chaos, the one thing I do know that I have learned is chaos always goes back into balance at some point. So that I know that will be happening. So I thought I'd do a message for the collective. So I'm going to, and then I'll do like a healing exercise for everybody. But first, how about we all just take a deep breath? Releasing out all that stress and tension. And I'll share the cards that I do pick and what the greater message is. So the first deck that I'm using is my Mystic Healer deck, which I love. And then I'm using my Earth Warriors Oracle because I thought that was appropriate. So I'm sitting here at the Soul Purpose. I have a break. So I'm sitting here. I've got Dixie, my dog. She's sleeping on the side of me. So, okay. So the first card that came out in the Mystic Healer deck, okay, is Transform Anger. And, many of us are readers of cards, and I'm probably what you would call a non-traditional reader, because the meaning of the card could be different for every different situation. So I kind of allow myself to open and feel that first. So to me, transforming anger, where I'm reading for the collective, implies that that's what we're experiencing is massive levels of anger. One of the things we're really witnessing in the planet, the globe, is anger on all sides. We are all in a very divided state of mind amongst whether it's our own country or around the world. The one thing that is common is that even though there's divisiveness, is everybody's experiencing the same feeling of anger and outrage. And but the more we continue to separate, the harder it is to heal. So this is a message for the collective that transforming anger can lead to a lot of healing. So I'm not talking about anger like somebody flips you off while you're driving or cuts you in line at Target. And, we all get angry all the time. This is a deeper level of anger. Yesterday, my daughter's high school's closing. Some of you may have seen Bishop Conley is closing, and she's been there for 2 years. So we get that email and video yesterday about that. And I wasn't angry. There was a part of me, I guess, in my gut that kind of saw that may be coming at some point. Um, just from noticing things. But a meeting with tons and tons of parents, there was lots of anger. And I realized it was just, there was a yearning of parents to want to transform the anger by putting it into, say, action to try to save the school. At the end of the day, everything's going to be okay. You know, the kids are going to be able to go to other schools, but it just brought a lot up, and I'm using that as an example. Or talking to clients who have anger, say, whether it's the Catholic Church or a local organization at family. This would be a way of how can we change the anger, not by burying it or sitting on it, because it comes up for a reason, right? It comes up to help us shift situations. That's the purpose of anger. So it's more, how do we transform it, right? I think transforming it starts first with us individually, channeling it into creative things, standing kind of in our own authenticity and truth. So with that comes listen to your intuition. That's the other card. A lot of us don't know how to do that. We know what our intuition's telling us. We ignore it. That's primarily what happens. So we don't like what we're feeling. So we'd rather ignore it. So it's kind of telling you to listen to your intuition. So this next card, I'm going to use some of the exercises from the book, even though I can talk a little bit about it, is more of a greater message. And I hope I say the name properly. But I'm not going to be able to say it properly. I could try, but I think I'm going to botch it. So I'm just going to show you the card. And its message is, she who guards the waters of life. And she's a Mexican guardian, Mexican deity. She's the ancient guardian mother that protects the waters of life, offers her protection and blessing. It says her appearance, or when she shows up, it means that a time of purification and cleansing is arriving, leading to enhanced fertility, bringing in more positive energy. So it's a call to all of us to bring vitalized energy to nourish our human collective. So it's interesting, I picked the card for the collective, and that's part of its message. It's saying we can help shift mainstream consciousness, and that we'll be protected in the process of doing that, right? So her bigger message, for a collective message, and then to each of us individually, is that it's time to cut cords to negative or unhelpful influences in our lives, whether that's habits, people, forms of entertainment, media, things that just threaten to distort the pure and the wise aspects of us, right? What we get into trouble with as humans is we like to beat ourselves up a lot and feel shame and guilt or fear. We don't always realize it comes from us. We may have learned it from people that we grew up around, ancestors, whatever that may be. So, say going to a casino for fun is nothing to feel guilty about. If you go in there knowing what you're doing and not getting caught or creating a cord, right? Or eating desserts. You know, a lot of us are afraid of food. It's when we do something and we do it and we don't feel good after, yet we continue to do it, and then we beat ourselves up. People can tell you to stop, and all that does is kind of not revitalize, but reiterate the pain response around it, right? So ultimately getting to a place where it doesn't have any kind of psychological or emotional hold is really what this card is talking about for the collective, is we give our power over to too much, where nothing should have power over us. And when we think something does, it's often an illusion, that we have to take things in the moment and process it. So it could even be being addicted to watching the media on TV, or, some people associate it with behaviors of whether it's having too much to drink, too much to eat, as I was saying. So it's talking about cutting cords from those things, which would be being more mindful about those behaviors that cause us harm. It's not so much to beat yourself up, but when we start to unplug and have awareness of these things that bother us, we can remember who we are. We have more compassion, right? And then we can summon the inner power within ourselves to act accordingly in that way. And then you don't have that ability to be swayed by a lower force. Mainstream consciousness that perpetuates, say, victimizing thought patterns and behaviors. That's what I was trying to explain when we feel shame or guilt over something. Those emotions are meant to come in briefly, make us have an awareness and think, like, do you really want to do that? Right? And then it's supposed to move. Those emotions are meant to move through the body like a current of energy and dissipate. What happens is they get stuck. And then we get into this cyclical limiting pattern. So rather than buying into that mainstream consciousness that victimizes us around our patterns and behaviors, it's give yourself a chance for more spiritual or psychological and emotional time, like a timeout just to cleanse and purify and collect your own thoughts around things, so you can detox literally from mainstream consciousness. So we have a lot of work to do to cleanse mainstream consciousness. Sometimes it can be heavy to think about, especially those of us on the healing path. We can look at that and be like, what the hell? How is this going to heal? How are we going to heal collectively? I've had a lot of time to think about this, being in the field for 24 years. And I realized, you know what? I can only work on me. And then by working on me, I can grow and share and extend it to others, and not have an attachment or an agenda to how or when it's going to shift on the planet. It might not in my lifetime. It could in my daughter's lifetime. So I focus more on that and realize everybody's on the journey that they are. I am a bit of an optimist or an idealist, where because you can see the way out when you work as a healer. You can see what needs to be done sometimes, and it's hard to see people who choose to buy into certain levels of consciousness. And all we can do is offer the higher levels, the healed levels, I should put it that way. They're not always higher, but offering that can allow things to happen 1 minute at a time, and offer a more global purification or cleansing, which on some level is happening right now. It just doesn't appear that way. And I can tell you that the way things appear are not always as they are, right? So what I would do is encourage us. I'm going to lead us through a healing exercise. Because this deity, she's all about the waters of what she calls higher consciousness, that are to be safeguarded because they're a tonic for the soul, which I think is beautiful. The souls that thirst for truth. And which brings us into our own uniqueness and originality, right? So I would think that the higher goal is to heal so you, me, you, we can all unapologetically be ourselves. So I'm going to do this healing process. If everybody could bring their hands to their hearts and repeat after me out loud or in your mind. Divine Mother, please help humankind to understand and implement the best ways to protect the natural resources of this planet, and may we have and use the creative power of our consciousness with wild, loving reverence for life, generating wise action and purifying the waters of spiritual grace to restore all beings' thirst for truth. So as you sit with this, I would encourage you after to maybe just pour a glass of fresh, clean spring water in honor of our sacred waters, and drink that. And as it connects to the spirit of you and connects you to earth, in the universe, in the cosmos, you know. And even while things can look dark, there is always light. Sometimes it's harder to see the light. It's easier to see the darkness, right? Even though most of us crave or yearn the light, there is a fear with it, believe it or not, because it reveals truth. Authentic light will always reveal truth. That's what we're seeing on the planet now too, is things are being revealed for truth. And so we just have to roll with it. And when we feel that anger, like that came up in the other card, because there is a bit of the word I'm going to use is indignation. Like I see people get indignant, like how, the nerve. When we don't even have the power to change it in that moment, or nobody cares how we think or how angry we really are at the end of the day. So it's more of how do we allow ourselves to feel that, allow it to move through us, and how do we take action that we feel we're at least contributing to the greater whole, along with healing our spiritual self, our individual self, right? So whether that's education, self-healing, teaching, all those things, but from a compassionate place. And again, one of us, each one at a time, as we expand, we extend that to each other, and we can expand and heal globally. I do believe that. So I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoyed this video. Thank you.